for tuning in to Glorious Vision Television. My name is Tope Oginni, and you are welcome to Live Tips. For those who are just tuning in to this channel, Live Tips is an educative and informative program designed to teach safety, to teach about life, to help you to stay alive, to help you stay healthy, to help you know how to make the most of every day of your life, to know how you are supposed to react in any emergency situation, to know your safety rights and your safety responsibility, and it is to guide you in about information in all areas where safety matters are concerned. So on today's episode of Live Tips, last week I started a topic, but because of time I couldn't exhaust all what I have to say. So, and I promise as many viewers who were able to join me last week to also be available to join me for the concluding part of this beautiful topic. So if you are just joining us, the topic is safety tips for surviving workplace politics. So if you are a salary earner, you go to office every day, this is exactly for you. And most of the things I will be discussing here may be something that you are already in it and you are trying to find your way out of it. So if you know you are a salary earner, you are a worker, this topic should interest you. So like I said, safety tips for surviving workplace politics. As you know, politics is everywhere. It's not just workplace, but for the context of this presentation, I'll be using workplace. So it's everywhere. It starts from the home, even between children, between husband and wife, church, everywhere. So like I said, for the context of this, so we want to look at some of the workplace politics and how to survive them, in as much as you have no choice. There are no jobs anywhere and you cannot leave this one that you are now. And what you are saying to yourself is, I will try and be managing, be coping with the situation until I'm able to get better one. And also to avoid you having mental illness as a result of the politics that is going on where you are right now. It's not everybody that can cope. It's not everybody that can manage some certain issues. Some people, when it gets too much, it starts affecting their minds, their mental health, you know, emotionally it affects them, and socially too, you know. It gets to a point that they don't want to relate with some certain people in that workplace because they have seen them as being very toxic. So as a result of that, they will rather decide to stay on their own and be observing things. Politics is the reason why some people will be in meetings and they will not want to say anything, because they know that the decisions have already been made even before coming to that meeting, because some people have already gone behind closed door to have some meetings and they might have, you know, taken some decisions there that even when they bring them into the general meetings, it's like their say is not going to hold any water. So for some people, they don't even want to waste their time. You see them, it's not like they don't have anything to say. They have something to say, but they are just tired of the workplace politics. So they just decided that I'm not interested. It's better for me to just be looking. And some say, oh, how will I continue in this situation and I will not just break down one day? Some people will get home and they will tell you, because of what happened in my workplace today, I was just crying because of what my boss did to me, because of what a colleague did to me, because of what he said to me, because of what she said to me. I got home and I was crying that, God, please, why don't you just do something better for me? When people are due, when people, you know them, staffs are very, very dedicated, committed, hardworking, they are the ones that are cutting the shores in that organization. You know them. But yet, they are never rewarded. They are not getting any promotion. When there are opportunities for international trainings, international courses, and all the rest of them, some benefits, you know, accommodation, cars, you give it to your loyalists because they are loyal to you. Even though they are not as good as these people that we are talking about, it is politics that is going on in such an organization. When people with good hands, they are hardly recognized, you ignore them as if they don't exist. It is politics. You are running a political workplace. That is what you are running. And that is the reason why you are not getting good results, where you are supposed to be getting results, when your company is supposed to be growing. Why? Because it will get to a point, the cup will be full, and this particular staff will no longer want to continue, will lose interest, and they will go. And when they go, you will feel that they are replaceable. Yes, we say that some people are replaceable, but I'm telling you, there are some situations that some people, they are not replaceable. You just discover that the more you keep employing staff, employee to that particular position, they can never, people will continue to tell you that nobody can fit. These are people that are God-made, that it is their field. And because it is their field, it is what God has designed them for. No other person can fit in as they are. It's not like you will not get people who are also in that field. But I'm telling you that they will not, it's either they may not be as good as they are, as hardworking, as committed, as faithful as they are. Something will be missing. So that's why you see that people will now become your customers, your clients will start complaining that it's like something is wrong with your organization. We are not getting the good quality that we used to get. What is happening? That's when you now remember, oh, the good ants, they've left. The good ants have started leaving, just like we have brain drain in Nigeria, that we have some sector that are beginning to go abroad where they are appreciated, where they are rewarded for their good work, for their hard working. So there are politics in workplace. There are politics. So last week we talked about what do we mean by workplace politics. So let me just do a brief recap of what we had for those who are just joining today. Workplace politics is the informal. It's not a formal way. It's not an official way of running organization. That's why it is called informal. Ways power, influence, and personal interests affect decisions at work. Yes, influence are always at play when we are talking about policy. People who know somebody who happens to be related to the boss or happens to know the oga at the top, power play, somebody that is fighting for his own personal interest. It's not like he has the interest of other colleagues or the organization at heart, but his own personal interest. That is when you begin to see politics at play. It can involve favoritism, alliances, influences, people putting themselves first in what they see. And we also talked about that it is not like workplace politics is always bad, but it becomes dangerous when fairness is ignored, where you are supposed to be fair, when there are so many staff and their issues or their opportunities or their benefits, where you are supposed to be fair, when fairness is being ignored, when you are supposed to say the truth, but you begin to twist the truth because this person is loyal to you, because this person is your own person. Now you are beginning to twist it. You don't want to say the truth because you know it's going to affect you. Or when people are just being used as tools and jump like that, that is when, and they are not recognized, they are not rewarded for being good. That is workplace politics. In short, we can say workplace politics happens when power is used without transparencies. And we talk about some of the signs of workplace. We said decisions made behind closed doors with no clear reason. You see some people, they select some selected people, they enter into the conference room, close the door, they made some certain decisions, and when they come back, you don't even know why. You don't know for any reason why that they have to do that. Credit hijacking, someone else taking credit for your work. You are the hard worker here. You are the one doing this work. Everybody can see that you are the one that is doing this work. But instead of you to be recognized or rewarded for your hard work, it is somebody else that is taking the credit. Somebody else is always being given that credit. You are never, even in meetings, you are never recognized. Your name is never mentioned for being dedicated, for being committed, for being transparent. They hardly mention you. Whereas you start hearing them mention people that everybody knows that this person is not is not contributing anything at all to that organization. They are the ones that they will always give applaud to in meetings and every place in that organization. Same mistake, different punishment. What do we mean? The same employee committed the same offense, but they are given different punishments. How do I mean it? Two people embezzle money in an organization. One appointment is terminated, while the other person is just given maybe 2 weeks to go and sort things, and the person resume back, and you terminated the other person. Yet the same offense, but different punishment. Politics has played. It's because that other person has somebody at the top, has some godfather that they cannot do anything to them. They cannot ask them to go, or they will give them minor punishments, but your own appointment will be terminated. They will ask you to go. These are some of the signs of office politics that we are talking about. Rewards for loyalty are not skilled. People are being rewarded for being loyal to their oga, not because you have excellent skills that you are contributing to the growth, development of that organization or the people that are involved, but you are just being rewarded because you are very loyal. You are the one that will hear from A from B and take it to the people at the top. You are the one that is causing pulling down syndrome. You are the one that will hear what they are saying about the boss. Boss, didn't you hear what they say? They said you are a very wicked oga. You are a very wicked boss. They say you are cheating us. They said this, they said that about you. That is what you are being rewarded for. It's not that you are good at what you have the skill, you have what it takes to deliver. These are some of the politics that we are talking about. And we also talk about the consequences that is going to cause some people to start beginning. Your good hands will start resigning when they can no longer take it any longer. Your good hands will begin to resign, to leave. And when they start resigning, it will affect your organization. It will affect the growth. It will affect the profit level of your organization, because when people start complaining about your products and services because your good hands have left, it's going to affect you. With time, people will there are choices everywhere. So with time, people will just leave your organization for other choices. How do you see that? So you can see that all this politics is not anything good at all. For people who are fond of doing that, it's not doing the workers, the staff, or the organization any good. It's not adding anything good. We talked about tiredness. It makes people get tired. It makes your staff to get tired. It will reduce creativity and productivity. For those who have refused to resign and go, they will be there, but they will stop what they have been contributing. They will reduce their level of contribution. When they get to meeting and you ask them, Mr. A, what do you have to say to this proposal? They will tell you, I don't have anything to say. Yet they have a lot bottled up they want to say. But because they know the politics that is going on, that you only want to use them, it's either you just want to take from them and then you go ahead and use it and dump them, or you just want to take what they have, and after you have gotten that, you just leave them, or you take from them and they are not being rewarded, they are not being recognized. You are not saying that, oh, let us give kudos to Mr. A, Mrs. B, or Miss A for her contribution. She's one of the backbone of this project. He's one of the people that we have to give kudos to. They are the one that make this to happen for this organization. When they don't hear you to say that, instead, you are beginning to praise your loyalists. Those are the ones that you are giving the credit to. It's going to affect them. Then there won't be career promotion, creating toxic work environments where everybody sees themselves as enemies, begin to compete with one another, competition, rivalry, jealousy, envy. These are the kind of environment that we build when you begin to practice your politics in your organization and among your employees. So it will lead to that kind of thing, to the extent that some people can go diabolical because they want to take somebody away, because they see that that person is always being favored by the boss, by the oga, and all of that. These are the kind of work environment that you will produce, you will create. It will also lead to poor performance. People will begin to perform at low level because they are not being appreciated, they are not being appraised. They are not being appraised, they are not being rewarded for their good work. You are making money, and there are people behind this. There are people that are making you to make the money, be one of the best company, one of the best organization, you know, your name is being mentioned here and there in the media. You are not the only one making it happen. You have people who are doing that. Why can't you just be good to them? Why do you have to say it is only people who knows their way? These are just people that want to influence you with what they have, which is gossip, backbite about staffs, and bring them down. So this will also affect. We talked about real life examples of employee who trained another person and then the effort is being ignored. We talk about manager who also feel threatened by a worker, a staff, an employee who is so good, and then begin to sabotage this person. You know, they begin to condemn this person's work. This person's work is bad. This person's work is this. No, too much of sabotage. You now want to be destroying that person because you are feeling threatened that this person might take your position as the manager or head of department, and because of that, you go ahead and begin to destroy and begin to sabotage their own work. These are some of the circumstances. So we now continue from the how do you now survive this workplace politics? I've said so many things so far. Maybe this is what is actually, oh, you are in your home right now, you are shouting. She's talking about my organization. It's just like she's working with us in that organization. This is an example. This is what I'm experiencing. I'm just tired. I don't know. I've been looking at, I've been praying to God I should just get another job. I'm telling you, politics is everywhere. It is everywhere. You just have to know how to survive when you are in one. And this will bring us to the next segment of it, which is tips on how to survive your workplace. You have to be wise. You have to be wise. Observe patterns and see who actually influences decisions. It's not about the titles now. Who are those? Because some people can just carry, you can be the admin of an organization and you are not administrating on anything. There are people who are cutting the shows. There are admins of admins, even in the same organization. You can be an accountant in an organization and we have accountants of the accountants in that same organization. That is what we are talking about when we are saying politics. They just give you title. You are not doing anything. There are some other people that are running your own job for you. Yes, that is what. So just be wise. Don't be too forward. Watch events. Observe everything. Who is influencing who? Do excellent job. Do excellent job. That is, keep records. Yes, you know that you are good. You know, sometimes power do change and the same MD, the same Oga at the top, the same head of department can be changed tomorrow. He or she can decide to leave that organization for another place. He or she, something can happen and she can decide to leave that place. So what you need to do, all what you have been doing now, that you are not recognized, you are not rewarded, please be documenting whatever you are doing. A time will come that somebody else, power will change hands and somebody else will come on that seat and you want to defend yourself, you know, or the person wants to have meeting with everybody and want to know who is doing what and who is not doing anything. You know, maybe the person wants to reshuffle the organization and now have meeting, you know, and begin to ask everyone, and begin to ask questions from everyone one after the other. What are you doing? What are your roles and your responsibility in this organization? And you begin to say, these are what I've been doing. Or you want to see this person personally, and the person asks you, can I see evidences of what you have been doing here? You should have proof. So please be documenting whatever that you have been doing. Another thing is control your tongue. Control your tongue. Build professional relationships, not cliques. Try and build professional relationships, not cliques. Treat everyone with respect in your organization. Don't depend emotionally on one person or group for survival in that organization. What if that person resigns? What if that person, something happens to that person? What if death? What if sickness? Anything can happen. It's not a matter of you are wishing anybody evil, but anything can happen. So if you have so much dependent yourself on a particular person, how do you now go back to people who you have neglected, who you have ignored their assistance? So please treat everyone with respect. Don't depend emotionally on one person or group for survival. Separate identity from your job. Your worth is bigger than your position. When you detach your identity from the workplace, manipulation loses power. So try and separate your identity. Who are you? Who am I as Tope Oginni, and who is Tope Oginni as the head of admins of Glorious Vision Television? They are two separate identities. I should be able to separate my identity and as Tope Oginni and my identity as head of admins of Glorious Vision Television. They are two different things. Don't fight every battle. Some battles are distractions designed to drain you. It's not every battles in workplace that you must be fighting and fighting. Some battles are just distractions. They are meant to drain you. You have been doing wonderfully well, and everybody can see that. So some battles just to label you, just to distract you and to drain you from what you have been doing, to let you lose interest. So some battles are distractions, and what you need to do is sometimes you just need to be silent or create a boundary to have your sanity. Protect your mental and emotional health. Talk to trusted mentors outside the workplace. By now, every one of us should have mentors, people that we are looking up to, who are mentoring us, maybe in our field, maybe it could be on our field, or as a religious person, or people who know more, or people who are always experienced about our job. So when there are issues, you can always talk to these people. They can counsel you better. Where they need to talk to you, where they need to encourage you, where they need to pray with you, they can do this. You should have them. You should have them. Learn the culture before you challenge it. Timing and approach matter. Truth without strategy can become self-sabotage. You must learn the culture of that organization before you start challenging anything. Know when to stay and know when to leave. Not every environment deserves your endurance. Yes, like I said, you have been enduring, but it's not every environment. Some people endured, and some were not able to leave that workplace. Some died, some, something just terrible happened to them. Because when they were supposed to leave, they did not leave. So know when you are supposed to stay, know when you are supposed to leave. Living is sometimes self-respect. So when you leave at times, it is self-respect. It is not that you are a failure. You are the one that knows where that your shoe really pinches you, to the extent that you say, I am leaving. I can no longer tolerate all this workplace politics anymore. For my mental health, for my sanity, for my life, I have to leave. So when it gets to that time that is affecting your mental health, your thinking, your mind, your soul, you are beginning to fall ill at every time, anxiety. When you wake up in the morning, when you are going to work, you are full of fear and anxiety because you are going to work. Then it is time to leave. You can pray to God that God should give you a leading of what you are supposed to do. Another thing you can do is you pray to God. God, what am I supposed to do now? Pray to God. God will give you a direction whether you should continue to stay. Maybe it's your trial period. And if it is time for you to leave, God will ask you to. Sometimes some people will say, when you're beginning to face some difficult issues in some certain area of our lives, it's an instinct that God is telling you to leave that place, to leave. The only way you can confirm in your own case is pray to God. When you are beginning to face bigger challenges, threatening challenges, that is threatening your life and your sanity, pray to God. God, what are you trying to say to me in all of this? God will speak to you. How to maintain integrity without becoming political. Stay honest. Stay honest, but be strategic. Be kind, but don't be gullible. Be visible, but not boastful. Be calm, but not always reactive. Integrity is not about being exposed. It is about being rooted. Conclusion. Workplace politics is real. Yes, it is real. My dear sister and brother, it is real. But it does not have to ruin you. Don't let it ruin you. Maybe you are in one already. Please don't let it ruin you because it is real. You can do this. See the game without playing the dirty. You can see the game going on and decide not to join them and decide not to play as dirty as they are playing. You can decide to navigate power without losing your peace. Maybe you are given a power as head of department, or you are given one power in that organization. You can decide to be it and you not lose your peace. You can still do your work without losing your peace. Protect your purpose without becoming bitter. Yes, you can protect what you are doing and without becoming bitter. Survival isn't about becoming like them. All the survival I'm talking about, you can see, I didn't ask you to become like them, to treat people unfairly, or to do anything bad, negative, to be unfaithful, to be lazy. That is not what I'm promoting here. But it is about being wiser than the system while you are still staying whole and humble. It is being wiser than the system while staying. So learn to be wise. Maybe you are one. Please learn to be wiser and become whole. Don't be like them. Don't say, look at the way they are doing it. I have to join them too if I have to survive in this organization. If you know it gets to that point that you feel that you cannot, like I said, please, you can leave. Leave does not mean that you have failed. You are only trying to protect your mental health. Thank you. To this, I've come to the end of this topic, workplace politics. Workplace politics. I want to appeal to as many that are able to join me from the first episode to this last episode that please, if you happen to fall into this, please try and abide, try and work on all what I've said. Look into it critically and with prayer and with God in it. I am telling you, you will come out fine in Jesus' name. And if this is the only part you're able to watch, you can go to our Facebook page, Glorious Vision Television, on Facebook and YouTube to watch the first part of this particular topic. Thank you to as many who are able to join me on today's episode of Live Tips. Thank you to production crew for making today's production a great success. Until I come your way again on another exciting episode of Live Tips, I remain your host, Tope Oginni. Thank you and bye for now.